Hi Dixons, I'm Tara Evans, Trust Assistant Principal. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't done so already, do subscribe to our channel, use the like function and comment below to tell us which episodes have been most useful for you or what you would like to see on the channel next. In our first episode on reading fluency, we discussed that fluent reading is defined as reading with accuracy, reading words correctly, automaticity, reading words at an appropriate speed without great effort, and prosody, appropriate stress and intonation. A number of studies have demonstrated that reading fluency instruction leads to overall improvement in fluency and comprehension for students of all ages. But what are the key elements of high-quality fluency instruction? In their 2018 book, Dr. Tim Rosinski and Melissa Cheeseman-Smith suggest the common elements of high-quality fluency activities are quality texts. Selecting suitable text is crucial. We should consider each text's potential for developing fluency and include a range of texts, including fiction, non-fiction, and poetry. Research suggests that fluency practice is strengthened by ensuring that the text used is above the level of difficulty that the students would otherwise attempt to read. Oral reading. Texts must be read aloud, both by teachers and students. Fluency practice should be oral so students can hear what good reading sounds like. The research of the past 2 decades demonstrates a robust correlation between expressive oral reading and silent reading comprehension. Feedback. Students should receive feedback on their fluency. This could be from their own observations of their oral reading, from their teachers, or from their peers. Using a fluency rubric can be a helpful way to structure this feedback. Repetition. For fluency to improve, repeated reading is strongly encouraged. We discussed in the previous episode how automaticity is built through repeated decoding. Repeated reading allows students to rehearse, refine, and hone their reading. Over time, repetition increases fluency and boosts comprehension. Research has demonstrated that each time students read a text, their reading improves in many areas such as word recognition, accuracy, automaticity, expression, and comprehension. And interestingly, research also suggests that when students move to reading an unknown text, these improvements stick. Motivation. A shared experience of a text helps students to develop positive attitudes towards reading. When students are provided with opportunities to hear fluent reading and to practice themselves, this allows them to experience success. And when students experience success, this positively impacts their self-confidence and motivation. Our end goal of high-quality fluency instruction is for our students to read with accuracy, automaticity, and prosody when reading independently. For this to be achieved, we need to scaffold students' reading through a gradual release of responsibility. This begins with teacher modelling. Students of all ages must hear what highly fluent reading sounds like. Listening to an adult read aloud with prosody demonstrates to students how to give meaning to the written words on the page. To improve students' automaticity, encourage them to follow their copy of the text as you read, tracking the words on the paper as they hear them read aloud. It can also be helpful to think out loud, making your thought processes as an expert reader explicit. For example, I've noticed there are inverted commas around this part, showing that Scrooge is speaking it, so I'm going to change my intonation to show this. However, simply listening to a fluent reader will not make students fluent readers. Students need to engage in fluent reading themselves. As the responsibility gradually shifts from teacher to student, students should engage in reading together. This can take many forms, such as choral reading, when the teacher reads alongside students, echo reading, when students echo a section of text modelled by the teacher, or paired reading, when students read to each other. Once students have had the opportunity to hear modelled, fluent reading and practice as a class, in a group or in a pair, students should then engage in independent reading. This will help students develop their internal fluent reading, which will in turn develop their stamina and comprehension. On a final note, for fluency instruction and practice to be successful, it requires routines and structures to be established with students. For example, when using strategies such as paired reading, students will be required to read to each other and provide each other with feedback. So expectations of how this should run need to be made explicit to students, and pairings need to be carefully considered. Similarly, when using echo or choral reading, it should be made clear to students that they should be following in their copy of the text when listening to the teacher and when echoing back. Once again, before we end, I must give thanks to Townend Research School. Their work has been a real source of inspiration for this mini-series on fluency, and if you are interested in reading more, I would encourage you to head over to their website, where you can find insightful blogs and some great resources. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and share. I look forward to seeing you soon.